start our English lesson. Today with you, Anzhelika Buravenko, an English teacher from school number 219. Nice to meet you, Anzhelika.
Nice to meet you, Natalia. And also with you today, Natalia Dolzhenkova from school number 18. Well, at today's lesson, we shall talk about some injuries and
At our today lesson, we are going to tell what should you do if you have some injuries, and you also can give a piece of advice to your friend or a family member. Ready, steady, go.
yes, let's go. Well, what do you do when you have a problem with your health? Of course, you want to know what you should do. Well, let's revise. What health problems can we have?
That means we need to recycle the vocabulary from our previous lesson?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I know this word. I have a toothache. Something wrong with my teeth.
Yes, you're right. Well, next is a headache. Well, I have a splitting headache today.
I have some problems with my ear. In such a way, I have an earache.
Well, and look at this poor man. He is sneezing.
Oh, what's wrong with her? What's the matter? She has a high temperature and also she has a terrible headache.
Well, I suppose she has a fever. Do you agree?
Yeah, can be that too.
Okay. Well, and here we have stomach ache. Something wrong with her stomach.
And when you have a pain in your back, we usually say about that, I have a backache.
Yes, a backache. Today I have a terrible backache. Well, and what do you think? If you have such a problem, what should you do? Natalia, what should you do if you have such a problem? One of these, I suppose.
I want to know what's the problem. And I need to see a doctor.
Do you often go to the doctor?
No, I don't, because I'm afraid of them.
Well, let's see. At the doctor's. Well, here we
That
have...
means we have a piece of conversation today.
Yes.
Can I be a doctor?
Okay, okay. Well, Natalia, you are a doctor and I'm a patient. Well,
Good afternoon. How can I help you today?
oh, I don't feel very well.
What's the matter?
I've got an earache and a fever.
Sit down, please, and I'd like to look in your ear. I think you've got an ear infection.
Oh, is it serious? What should I do now?
You should put drops in each ear twice a day. Here is the prescription for you.
Thank you, doctor. Goodbye.
Get well. See you in a week.
Well, and here is a small talk at the doctor's office. But what should you do if you are not a doctor and your friend is feeling unwell?
Or injured even. And
Yes, or even injured.
What should we do?
Well, we have some
Problems, reactions, and a piece of advice.
and advice, yes. Well, for example, if I say, I have a splitting headache today, my friend will probably say,
That sounds terrible. Maybe you should go home and stay in bed.
oh, I'd love to. Well,
If you have a sore throat, something wrong with your throat.
oh, have you seen a doctor? I think you should get some rest. Well, just imagine that I have a pain in my back. Oh,
Poor you. Is there anything I can do to help? Maybe? Shall I get you an aspirin?
aspirin. Oh, I don't think so. Maybe.
Oh, okay, I understand. Maybe shall I get you some painkillers?
Oh, yeah, what a relief. Well, I don't feel well today.
Actually, I see you don't look well. And maybe it's better to see the doctor. Your face is so pale.
Well, yeah, I am tired.
If I'm feeling sick, what advice should you give me?
Well, I am sorry to hear that you are feeling sick. And have you seen a doctor? No. Well,
I'm afraid of them.
well, then I think you should get some rest.
Thank you. I will try. If your friend is injured or feels unwell, you can give him a piece of advice and give some support.
Yeah, support. Yeah, it's the right word. Well, and now let's look at this. Sometimes people hurt themselves and get injured, and
those cases are called injuries. And in what places maybe I can get injured?
well, you can get injured at work or even at home. And now you can see on the board some injuries. Well, let's start. A bruise.
A bruise. Oh,
Well, a graze.
here I scratch my elbow.
Well, a broken bone.
A broken bone. Something wrong with my arm?
A bump.
A bump. I hurt my head on this front door.
To slip over.
I step on a piece of banana. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and you do like this. Ah. Well, burn or scald.
Burn or scald.
Well, when there is something hot and you touch it, you have a burn. Well, a broken bone.
Something wrong with my bone on the leg.
Well,
Maybe I played football
maybe.
and hit the ball.
Well, twisted wrist. It's when you played volleyball and just hit the ball in the wrong way and you twisted your wrist. Well, bleeding.
I said about this when the knife is too sharp and you can cut your finger and have bleeding.
Bleeding finger, yeah. Well, next we have to sprain an ankle.
Oh, I don't like it because a few months ago I sprained my ankle. That is to sprain my ankle when you put your foot in a wrong way.
Yeah, that's right. Well, next we have trip on, when you don't see what is in front of you and you just like fly. So, trip on. Next.
To fall off. That is when you ride your bike and fall it off.
Well, and you can have bump and bruise and graze everything.
And
in this
even
situation.
a broken bone, a broken arm or a broken leg.
Yeah,
Be
that's
careful.
right. Well, next is a black eye. Oh, a
It's
black
too
eye.
violent. In most cases, a black eye can be after the fight.
Yeah, it's a result of a fight. Well, a cut. A cut Do you remember that sharp knife, Natalia?
No, I don't want to remember about this situation.
Well, so these are some injuries. In most
Can you explain, can you say me again what should be picture 3?
Picture 3 is a broken bone. It's when you have your bone broken.
What was going on if I hit my hand?
If you hit your hand, you will probably have a bruise or even a graze.
If I fought with someone,
Oh, you
What problem?
actually will have a black eye and some bruises. Well, and now let's go on. Here we have some situations and the results of them. Let's just do the matching. Well, I fell off my bike, so what is the result of this?
if I fell off my bike, I have bruises all over my body.
Well, next, I cut my finger.
If I cut my finger is bleeding.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I was doing the ironing and
I have a burn on my hand.
well, what is the next? Can you see?
I was fighting with my brother.
Oh,
What will be the result?
were you really? Oh, you have some grazes and even a black eye.
I'm not very keen on fighting. I was playing volleyball.
So, now you've got a broken arm. Oh, is it really so? I suppose no.
I was running the marathon.
And now?
It was too long and you sprained and I sprained my ankle.
Yeah. Well, so you see that the situation, every situation has its result.
Anzhelika, we forgot about the last one. I
Oh,
hit my head on the door.
so I think you would probably have a big bump on your head. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so
Be
pain.
careful.
It's
and
so painful. I don't.
be careful and take care of yourself. If there is a situation in which you need to give a piece of advice, you usually use the appropriate structure such as we use should or shouldn't to give somebody's advice or say what do you think is the right way to be well.
Well, pay attention that should and shouldn't are followed by verb in infinitive.
Is it bare infinitive?
Yeah.
Should
It's,
I use to before the verb?
you mustn't use to before the verb because should and shouldn't are modal verbs without.
These forms are the same to all person of singular and plural.
And
Let's have some practice. If you want to help your friend or give a piece of advice in different situation, you need to use should or shouldn't. And I also need to pay your attention. After should or shouldn't, you use the verb without to. That means carry, should or shouldn't carry, should or shouldn't take, should or shouldn't drink, should or shouldn't play, should or shouldn't watch, should or shouldn't eat. Anzhelika.
well, he has got a backache. I think he shouldn't carry heavy things. Well, number
Situation
two.
number 2. My mother has got a splitting headache. I'm absolutely sure that she should take a painkiller.
Well, Steve has a stomach ache, so I think
Should he drink something?
well, he shouldn't drink some fizzy drinks, but I think he should drink some mint tea.
Good.
Well,
Jennifer broke her arm yesterday. Should she play any games? I think she shouldn't play volleyball for a while.
Caroline slept in the kitchen, so
She should watch her steps. She should watch her steps.
yes,
And can you help me in my last situation, which I have? Matt has gained some weight recently.
well, if he has gained some weight recently, he shouldn't eat junk food.
That
Well-
is, if I want to avoid a backache,
Well, you shouldn't carry heavy things.
if I want to take away my terrible headache,
Well, I think you definitely should take a painkiller, Natalia.
if something wrong with my stomach,
Well, I think you should drink some mint tea or just have a rest.
if my friend broke her arm or leg,
Well, it's a serious situation and I think she should or he should visit the doctor. It is very serious when you
you
broke
know,
some.
Anzhelika, she said that she would like to play football tonight.
Well, no, I think she shouldn't play volleyball or football or whatever game for a while. So,
If you want to give a piece of advice or try to explain somebody what should or shouldn't they do in different situations, you need to use the structure which we have mentioned a few minutes ago.
well, should or shouldn't. If you know what to do, if you want to help your friend or your family, and there is no doctor around, so you can give him or her a piece of advice using the word should or shouldn't. Don't forget that after these words, should and shouldn't, the verb goes in the infinitive form without to. Should go, for example, or should do, should drink, shouldn't play football,
Should he eat less junk food?
or
Okay.
or should eat more healthy food.
That is better. Anzhelika, can you give me advice? Imagine the situation that I have problems with sleeping at night. In most cases, I have nightmares.
Oh,
What shall I do?
well, I think that it will be the home task of our students, and they can write in their copybooks advices to these situations. But personally, I think, Natalia, that you should have more rest.
That is, at home, you need to write the situation which are given on the board and give your advice for such situations. Don't forget to use should or shouldn't.
And verb without to. Thank you for your work.
Absolutely right. That was great to work with you.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. Stay safe and see you next week. Don't forget about your home task.
And now you can identify some injuries and also give some advices in different situations. Don't forget about yourself. Stay healthy. See you next week.